Alright, tell the story again.
He lived with his mom, and his mom didn't pay enough attention to him to realize that his attitude and stuff had changed, and he went to school one day with a trench coat and opened fire.
And what was this dude's name?
Barry Lukaitis,
Barry Lukaitis.
out of Moses Lake, Washington.
So he was from Moses Lake, Washington. His name was Barry Lukaitis. And so basically his mom had never really paid attention to him to figure out what was going on. They worked at a sandwich shop, and
Well, no,
so he basically...
she was basically too wrapped up. You know, when things changed with him, she didn't notice.
Mm-hmm.
And she could, because she didn't pay enough attention, and he got himself hold of guns and
Went into school and just opened fire, killing whoever he could.
yep, exactly.
I mean, that kind of thing happens all the time. I mean, kids get bullied. They come to the school with a gun. They kill people. One of them, I think, was a 17-year-old kid. He had found a revolver, a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum revolver that his dad had owned, and he went to his elementary school with a bunch of extra bullets in his pockets, and then he had opened fire on all the kids who had bullied him, and basically he had like 28 extra bullets because he's planning to do something. And after that, he used the last bullet after killing, I think, about 10, 12 people in that school. He pointed it at his head and pulled the trigger, and his, like, that thing is powerful. So when he did, the only thing that they could find was a small brain fragment on the ground. That's the only thing they found of him, of
And
his
see,
head.
parents need to teach their children, no matter, unless it's an emergency, like someone's breaking into the home, you don't touch a gun.
Mm-hmm.
We were taught from the time we could walk not to touch my dad's guns.
What kind of guns did your dad have?
He had a shotgun, a 30-30, and a 22.
Wow. Yeah.
And two of them were on the rack on the wall, and one of them was next to the bed loaded.
Did you guys ever have to use them?
A couple times he had to go. My grandma lived right next door to us. She would have been your great grandma.
Mm-hmm.
A couple times he had to go up there because someone was trying to get into her house.
Mm-hmm.
But we knew that if we touched any of them, our butts were whooped.
Yeah. And then there was this other school shooting, I think in somewhere around the northern part of, I think, Washington, like northern Washington, D.C. An elementary school shooting took, well, it wasn't elementary school, it was more of a high school, or somewhere like a middle school that had a high school attached to it, so it was kind of both buildings on the same grounds. So it was a middle and high school building, so we can say it was both because he entered both buildings. So long story short, the guy was bullied by multiple people, and it was mainly because his family was suffering from like poverty and stuff, and all the rich kids made fun of him. So because of that, he grabbed his dad's 12 gauge shotgun, went out, bought some extra bullets with his dad's money, and he went into both of the buildings. He went into the middle school building first, killed 20 people, and he went into the high school building and killed 30 people. So in all, he killed 60 people. And he did it all because the rich ones bullied him for being poor. And then he turned the last shell he had, he put it into his mouth, and he pulled the trigger. That's what I don't like. All these school shooters kill themselves because all these people, dude. And then with that Newton CT Connecticut one, you know what I would like to see? The town of Connecticut wrap a rope around that dude's neck, drag him along the road hanging from a tree, and then we get to throw stones at him. We get to throw stones at him while he's hanging from a tree.
Part of the problem is schools don't give a shit.
You're
Anymore.
you're right. I mean, they don't give a singular
If
flying.
students being bullied and they go to the office and report it, that school should take action on it.
Yeah, most schools now just don't care. They just do it for the money. They just do it for the paycheck and for the money. That's really the main reason why.
You know,
And also,
my school
yeah.
has, they had their sign up, or they had on their sign something about they didn't tolerate bullying, but that was a lie, because when London was bullying and being mean, They didn't do anything about it.
Sometimes they just put that up just to get your kid into the school so they can just get more funding.
When I was in school, if you went to the principal and you said I'm being bullied, they called your parents. And usually it was the dads that they called. And let me tell you, back in the 70s, even 80s, this crap didn't go on because parents were called.
Okay.
Kids were suspended.
Yeah, and basically,
They used paddles. Back when I was in school,
yeah, I know those old wooden beat paddles that they would use to beat you with.
they made you touch your ankles, and they slapped that ass.
Yeah, they did. But so the thing about it is that this one school, like, they didn't do crap about it. Like, all these schools, it happened because they just didn't care. They just didn't give a flying flip about it. They just didn't give a two flying winged monkey backflips about it. And they just didn't give two cahoots from an owl's beak about it. So I'm just coming up with random stuff here, but basically you get what I mean. They just didn't give two flying
There are some schools now
freaks about it.
that actually have security guards posted at the doors.
Yeah, my
One
school, my middle school, Corey Life, actually has those things where you have to press a button, and then in order to get into a door, you have to have a admin key card with your face on it for a scanner. That's how serious they are. And our school resource officer roams the hallways too. Her name is Officer Calamari. She roams those hallways like a dang guard dog in a dang military base, dude. She guards that thing good, man. She is, if anything goes down, like, she wanders that hallway like a guard dog in a police station, dude. She is just all around the school.
There's one school, I can't remember where it's at. Parents are taking turns guarding the doorways, and they're packing.
Yeah.
I believe it was a school that had a school shooting, and they said no more. And why? Why taking innocent life? Okay?
Like, I can understand it if, like, you killed your parents, because sometimes a parent, like, I still can't understand it. I mean, I can to a certain extent, because if they're abusive and nobody believes you, but then again, I can't to a certain extent, because, you know, why would you do that, you know? But if they're abusive, then they probably deserved it. I mean, I hate to say it, but...
No. Okay? You kill your parents.
More importantly,
You're
your
going
mom.
to prison.
But then what the
If
heck
you're
did the
in
kids do?
in an abusive household where one or both parents are abusing you, you go and you tell somebody.
But then what the heck did the kids do? Like, did he just enter class, see a bunch of them, and fire? Like, what did they do? They didn't do nothing to him.
Nowadays, kids are fucked up because of their parents.
Yes, they are.
And
What is that?
most parents, I shouldn't say most, some parents don't care.
But who's walking around? Sounds like Mimmer walking around.
Wait a minute.
You know, I mean,
Dang, bug flew into my leg.
kids need discipline. Kids need their parents to,
What do you? Oh, you're letting the dogs out.
his, Edward, watch out.
Oh, I'm watching.
I need his thing.
Damn dog.
Eddie here.
Reach it for her, Eddie.
Yeah, take that. Gotta put the dogs out. But yeah, most of the time,
When you know that your child isn't acting right, you find out why.
I'm
Okay?
gonna sit down in this
If
chair.
your child
Here, hold
is
this.
bullying, and you know this,
Make sure you don't hit the stop button.
you take action. You just don't say, "Oh, son, don't do it again."
Like-
Or, "Oh,
Like
daughter, don't do it
like I
again."
heard a story once about one of these school shooters. He actually survived, and he went to prison, right, for I think about 5, 10, 20 years, right? He got out, and the only thing his parents had the nerve to say to him was, "Don't do it again." That's all they
Yeah,
said.
And judges.
That's all they said, and then they just walked off. He had the gun that he had. He had it with them at the time because for some reason they let him have it afterwards because it was his rightful own gun. They had it in the evidence bag. It was like a I think a 9mm with extra things. All they did was take the gun, put it back in the gun safe in his room, tell him don't do it again, with perfect access because he knew the code, and just walked off like it didn't even happen.
And judges. Judges are to blame too. Okay, you take life, you get 90 days. What the hell is that going to show you? Oh, I can kill somebody and do 3 months, and
Yeah, and like literally kill somebody.
What are you doing? Why are you recording?
Because I'm making a video about telling some stories about stuff.
You're dumb.
I'm not dumb. If I'm dumb, then you're even dumber.
You are dumb.
Then you're even dumber.
I
If
know.
my child would have been a bully in school, she still wouldn't be sitting down.
Yeah.
I would have
So
taken every single thing away from her that she had.
yeah, and you see the thing is that most of these, like, I hear this a lot on like YouTube and internet stories, right? A lot of people, they just like they're bullies, right? And their parents actually condone it because they say, "Oh, my child is perfect, he would do no wrong," and they end up suing the school, and the child wins, and then the victim is suspended for lying about something they didn't even lie about. Like, that kind of stuff happens a lot in schools all around the world. It happens.
When I was in elementary school, Rocky Donahue was a school bully.
Oh yeah,
He
this
was
guy,
afraid of him.
Rocky Donahue.
I
Man,
beat him up,
yes, you
and
did.
he never bullied anybody ever again.
How bad were his injuries when you were done with him?
I don't know.
But dang,
I
you
mean,
messed
he
that
went
man up.
crying home to his mom, and his mom called my mom, and my mom said, "Well, he shouldn't be hitting people for no reason. He should be bullying." And
Did his mom get on him for it?
no, all she said was, just be careful.
So she basically didn't care.
No, and I would tell the kids, stand up to him. Don't let him.
Was
get by with bullying.
this guy Rocky? Like, was he like the average bully, just like built real big and jacked
He
up?
was tall and skinny,
Of course, it's always the tall ones.
and he thought that his shit didn't stink.
It's always the tall ones, dude.
And
I'm gonna zoom in a bit just so we can see her face.
he wasn't that tall. I mean, he was probably
Around 6'2", 6'3".
no. He was probably at the time like 5'8".
Wow. Hold on, let me.
But the whole point is you just don't go around bullying people.
Had a yawn
I
coming.
don't care what they've done to you. You don't go around bullying people.
Yeah, and also most of the time, bullies are there because they see their parents fight a lot at home and they have a lot of home issues, and they just project it in that way because they don't know how else to. Like, they kind of can't help it. Like, they just see
That's
it
not an
and they
excuse.
project it.
Okay?
One time, one of these bullies at my school, well, it wasn't at my school, but it was just like an online interview with a bully at a school as an adult, and he said, "Why did you bully people?" And when they asked that to him, he said, I'll quote it in his words. He said, "Well, it's because my parents were fighting a lot." He told them that it's because his parents were fighting a lot and always had physical attacks between his mom and his dad a lot. And he never got any sleep because there's a lot of yelling and fighting in his house, and he just projected it in that way from what he saw and just couldn't help it because he didn't know how else to project it.
I mean, there are other ways, okay? If your parents are fighting at home and there's abuse in the home, there are ways out, okay?
Hey, Repo.
You don't have to bully anybody. You don't have to bring a dang gun to school and shoot somebody, especially innocent people.
Hey, Repo. Oh, okay. Oh, Repo. Oh, Witch, get your dog.
Most bullies, if you stand up to them, they're going to stop bullying. They bully because everybody's afraid of them.
Okay. It's because And most of them, they do it because they see other people as vulnerable. But then when that person stands up, they're no longer a vulnerable target.
You gotta go in the house. You gotta get out of the way. 'Cause this dog is on my last nerve.
Get in the corner, Let's see if Tootie can find us.
I mean, if someone hits you, yeah, hit him back.
Just twice as hard.
Come on, Repo.
Repo! Dog! Repo!
But to use the excuse, oh, I beat his face in because he looked at me. So what?
Like, he looked at you wrong, so what? Just give him a look back. I mean, like, it's really not that difficult when you think about it, because a lot of people are like that, and then they don't change.
Alright, Karan and Sidgy Bidgy. Karan is second again. He's tied for second again.
And
Karan is the best Sardine of all time. Alright, boys, I'm going to hide. Everybody get in this corner.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Anyways, but, yeah, I'm gonna just shut off the video now.